One.
What's up, paddle players? Eric West here with my partner in crime, Nobu Tanaka. We have another great episode coming at you. We have the rising stars on the ladies' side of the game. We have B. Lopez and Taya Page in the house. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us.
Hello, guys from Spain. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
Hi guys, hello from Connecticut, and yeah, thank you for inviting us to do this.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Our first ladies on the podcast, and guys, it's been fun to watch you. What what's going on with this year? You guys came out of nowhere. What's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, we are just having some fun, and yeah, we started playing in the summer. We met in the summer league in New York, where actually Jose, Alvi, and Guille also play for that team. So we met there, and we were the only woman on the team. So the captain was putting us together a
I
lot
love
in every weekly match. So yeah, we played together. We liked it, and we thought we had a lot of potential. And yeah, we started working together in the summer, and we thought we should give it a try for the season and commit for the full year. So that's exciting. That's how we
Nice.
that's how everything started. Yeah.
Coach
The
Coach
team.
inadvertently put some magic together without realizing he was putting magic together. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Now,
Captain Mom.
did you make all the guys have to wear matching outfits too?
I don't think we started with the matching
No,
outfits in the
it was
summer.
later on. Yeah.
Yeah, oftentimes we were coming strictly from the tennis court, so I was wearing all white pretty much every time. And yeah, we didn't really match in the summer, but that
Yeah.
started from the first tournament.
I was literally working all day and then just driving to Connecticut or wherever we were playing at to play the league match on Tuesday. So didn't really
Exactly.
think
That's how I
much
knew
about
I
outfit.
found a committed partner because she drove from New Jersey to Connecticut pretty much every week. So
That's
I
a
was
good
like, wow,
point.
that is impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was gonna
can't.
say this is the kind of commitment that it takes to get to the top. I'm in trouble. I think it makes sense why I'm not there yet, Eric.
No, but I think we got to start matching outfits. I think
I
that's
think so too.
actually, I you guys
What
are
are
gonna
we
like
wearing
this.
to their next tournament, man? Just
Well,
just let me know.
well, Tyler and I actually talked about that, and Tyler, I couldn't tell if he was kidding or not. He's like, "Yeah, you never know. We might get switched in the backcourt, and like they might not know who we are." I go, Tyler, you're like a foot taller than me, and you have hair down your shoulders. I think they're gonna know who's who, even though if we're matching out here.
That's funny.
Oh, well, guys, let's jump into Detroit. I mean, you guys obviously had an unbelievable event. But I just kind of wanted to break down the from start to finish, and we can start on the ladies' side. Um, in my opinion, I think the tournament really got going in the semifinals. Uh, just kind of walk us through your match with Ellie and Jill, and then we can kind of go over the other semis and lead into that epic final that I definitely want to talk to you guys and pick your brains apart. But lead us into the semis. What were you guys' thoughts?
I think at the beginning we started a bit slow. I think in the first set right there, a
Yeah.
little cold, yeah. But we managed to pull through the first set, and yeah, then that gave us some confidence and the momentum going for the second set. I think the first set was 6-4, right? It was a tough first set, especially as I said, like tough beginning. I think it was very, very cold, and we don't love the cold as much. And it took us some time to get going and in that first set. What
Yeah,
do you
I agree with
think?
that. I mean, it was getting already pretty late. We didn't know which court we're gonna go on. We kept switching, and then they said, okay, they can put us on before a live stream, which was really good that they could, because that way we started a little bit earlier. But like B said, we kind of had an off start, and it took us a while to warm up, but every time we kind of struggle and then the score stays close, we tell each other, I mean, if we're playing bad and the score is close, like we're fine, you know? So we didn't panic. We kind of kept doing what we usually do. And there you go. We managed to pull out that set 6-4. And then the second set was pretty easy. Ellie got some injury, I think beginning of the second set. I don't know if that impacted her or not, but it was kind of a little bit slippery since it was raining a little bit. So she pulled her groin or something and she struggled for a bit. So again, but we had some pretty tough games, like important games that we were able to win. And that gave us a lead 3-0 and then 4-0. And then I feel like the last two games were kind of just given to us. And we were able to close that match with 6-4, 6-0.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because B coming from Spain and then Taya, I'm not too sure what the winter climate is like back home in Croatia. What has this been? Obviously when we played tennis in college, if it gets that cold, we're playing indoors. What kind of walk us through how are you guys handling the cold now and what that all takes to play a winter sport where, what in the world are we doing out there when it's 10 degrees outside?
Yeah. Yeah, for me at the beginning was tough. I mean, I started working in New Jersey in 2020 when COVID hit only for the summers. I got into rackets industry that summer. I went to SXFL's country club. They were looking for a female pro, so I couldn't go back home that summer. So then I was like, okay, what am I gonna do here in the States? I might just look for a job and just explore that opportunity. And then I went that summer to work at SXFL's country club, a good, nice club. Then I had to come back in the fall because I was still in school. And I mean, I was just doing summers until 2022 when I graduated from my MBA. And then I just decided to move to New Jersey full time. And I mean, I heard in 2022, I remember that summer, I was still at Essex Fells and, Sven Burush is there. So he was telling me about paddle, that I'm gonna love it, whatever, and you play in the cold. And I didn't really love the idea. And then that fall, I switched jobs and I went to Orange Lawn. So I started teaching paddle, playing a bit with the members. And yeah, I had to kind of just play and like it. And at the beginning, I wasn't loving it, but then I got used to it and I played some tournaments in the winter of 2023. And I don't know, I just really like competing. So that call just
You
kind of
forget
goes
about it.
away. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think about it like towards once I'm playing and I get warm, just I enjoy it. So it wasn't that bad as I thought it would be. But at the beginning was tough, and especially the idea of going to play outside, I was like, oh, that's not for me. But I guess, yeah. I changed my mind.
Hey, you're still playing. You're
I'm
rocking
sure
out
Yeah.
winning
there.
helps. Winning helps too, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes it
I
a
mean,
little more fun.
I didn't win much until this year, actually. Well, yeah.
Hey, everyone does that. Well,
Yes.
except for your significant other and Jose, they found a way to be good right away. But
Yeah.
other than that, 99% of people suck at this the first year.
Yeah, the
Or
first year.
7, 10, you know.
Hey, it's not how you start, Nobu, it's how you finish.
There you go. My man.
Tell you what is it like in the winter in Croatia?
In Croatia, well, depends where. I'm from Zagreb, which is the capital, and it's up north. I would say it doesn't really get colder than in Celsius, I would say like -5, which would be about
Pushing the
25
20s.
Fahrenheit. Let's say that would be like kind of cold. And then it's pretty similar, I would say, to like New York, Connecticut, but a little bit milder. So not as hot, not as like not as cold in the winter. So all 4 seasons really nice. So it's not like I'm shocked by this cold, but Like I was shocked in the beginning that I will be playing outside and in the cold. And for me, honestly, teaching would probably be worse than playing because I like B knows I get warm pretty quickly and I can even sweat when it's
Yeah.
-10 Celsius. So, but standing and teaching paddle and not being as active outside, that's kind of pretty cold. One winter I was even teaching in Ugg boots. I don't know if you know those,
Yep.
like those big fluffy ones, because that's the only thing that could keep me warm. So yeah. But when I'm playing, really, like it takes me. B and I love to warm up before our matches, so we warm up for 15-20 minutes, and by the first game, I'm most likely already down to my base layer, and I'm, ready to play.
It
So
usually take me a set or two.
yeah, for B, it's a little bit long.
A bit longer for me.
But hey, all I
My
heard, Nobu, Ugg boots. That's the other. You write that
Dude,
one down too.
that might be, Tom Brady did make Ugg boots for guys cool, so I might just go ahead and pull the trigger on some Ugg boots. Although that's not gonna help my case when I go to the restaurant and I'm wearing tall Ugg boots and jeans and have my hair down, and some waiter is gonna be like, "Oh, miss, are you ready for your seat?" And be like, "Oh,
With the
yeah."
beard, maybe.
Yeah. I had that happen to me actually a few times where I've like turned around and I had my hair in a bun and the hostess was like, "Excuse me, miss, like your table's ready." And I turn around and she's like, "Oh my God, you're not a girl." And I'm like, "Well, how do you know?" And then she's like more awkward because she's like, "Oh wait, you're right. I should." It's like, oops.
Hey man, a great head of hair will do that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is-
Um, so we were talking, I'm just curious, we were talking a little bit about not being super thrilled about paddle initially. And I know in our last podcast, I think it was with Mark, we were talking about that transition for tennis players going from, tennis to paddle. And you do, in order to be successful in paddle, right, we have to buy into a certain style of play. Like we can have our own flavor of or our own personality of paddle play, but the formula for success still seems to be, be really good at the traditional basics of good defense, right? Like what was it like for you guys when you guys first started and buying into paddle and being able to get yourself to play that style of successful paddle? Like what was that transition like for you two?
I
Yeah,
think
I
I
mean,
was, yeah, you go.
sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, I think I was, a grinder in tennis,
Mm-hmm.
typical Spanish and clay court, red clay, that I just love to be out there just, and I didn't really care how long it would take me to win, but I was willing to be there for a long time. So I think like the transition from tennis to paddle maybe in that way was easier for me, that I just didn't mind being out there for a long time and the points to be long. And I
Mm-hmm.
liked that about paddle a lot when I got introduced first to paddle. It took me a little bit of time for the screens, but I played few times padel in Spain, so I like at least I knew like the screens were there, like bounce, hit the screen, and then I would hit it back, like because I think it helped me a bit that I played some padel, not much
Mm-hmm.
actually, but with some friends when I was younger and Spain, and then so maybe that it was a bit easier for me maybe that way, and yeah, I mean, but I like that transition from tennis to paddle. It wasn't like a big deal for me in terms of I was willing to be there all day long. I didn't mind at all.
What about you, Taya?
Yeah, for me, even though as a tennis player, I was also more of a grinder, as you would call it, and my matches were always long, no matter if I won 6-1, 6-1, that match
Hey, high
lasted
five.
two
I can
hours.
relate to that. I was always last. Coach is
Always
always
last
like,
in
"You're always
college.
last."
In college, no matter where I played, Oh, I was often the clincher because or I could not finish my matches because they didn't give me enough time to do it, you know? So, but anyways, when I started playing paddle in the beginning, so my story to paddle was that when I was teaching in Long Island, for the first time, I was introduced to paddle. That was 2022, and I learned it so I can teach it. And then I did not really like it. And my husband Antonio, he would try to drag me on the court, and I was just like, unless I need to teach it, I was not really liking it. I didn't really want to play it. Um, and because I was not good at it. And then I was just getting very annoyed and bored. And at that time, I wasn't really into it to try to be better at it. So, anyways, then I went to my master's. I went to Reno, Nevada, and I was gone for a year and a half. And then now, when I came back in January, I was like, okay, now it's time for me to learn it. And I really kind of started liking it right away, even though in the beginning, I wanted to drive every single ball because it looked like a ball that you can just hit, a
Yep.
lot of times.
Hey, don't worry.
And
Nobu and I still do that, so don't worry.
Yeah.
and people would tell me you can't hit that ball. I'm like, what do you mean? You see, I did. And oftentimes you would actually go in. So they were like, no, but trust me, it's just not how it's done. And I would often play with guys that were just more patient. And I feel like throughout the summer, since we played with guys, we just learned how to stay in that point longer and longer and longer. So now when we play with girls, it doesn't seem that hard to be out there. And even our matches, for example, in this last tournament, we had our first two matches were 6-1, 6-1. We were last to finish. We saw some other courts being done, and we were like 4-1 in the first set. So even now, I feel like our game is just, even though people say we have big shots, which we do, I feel like we play a lot of traditional paddle where we just stay there for a long time. So yeah.
That's awesome. We'll talk about staying out there for a long time. That finals, holy shit, guys. Okay, I gotta tell you, that Sunday morning, I ran a paddle clinic. I did some Christmas shopping. I grabbed lunch, and I was still able to watch your third set. I was like,
Oh, wow.
there's no way this is still going on. But no, I was able to watch the third. I kind of went back and watched a little bit of the first and second, and that was some incredible stuff. And I know you guys are bummed out that you lost, but we, the two people that you guys are talking to right now, we're dying to hear what did you guys think of it? Give me the good, the bad, the ugly, just the whole ins and outs of that match.
Uh, should I start?
You can start.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, right after we win the semis the day before, we're like, all right, like tomorrow we gotta have a strong beginning, since the first point, And I think we had a very good start. We started strong the first set. And I feel maybe the second set we missed a few key opportunities, big moments, big points that turned the momentum against us, probably, right there. And I think, yeah, in those few games in the second set, yeah, the momentum just went against us. And I think, yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Thea?
Well, yeah, I mean, even though, so we started playing like we usually do, it was kind of close, no momentum on any side, I would say. And even the first set, I wouldn't say we played particularly well or anything, but we were just able to kind of win those games and win the set. And then we weren't aware of the time, really. We didn't understand that the first set lasted that long. We were just there grinding. And then the second set, beginning of the set, we had 2-0 chances to go 3-0 up, which I think would have been a big difference than 2-1. They were able to gain that momentum back. Again, like we said, we missed some key opportunities there. I don't even know what exactly happened, but yeah, we lost those games. And then the second set was getting very tight. And I think we kind of kept the strategy the same, even though winning or losing, we kind of stick to the same thing, which now
We didn't
looking
really
back,
adjust. Yeah, we
maybe
didn't
we
really
could have,
adjust when we had to.
yeah, maybe we could almost taken more risk at certain, certain points, certain games, at certain score, and tried to make some adjustments where we didn't do that. And then the funny thing was around 4 3 second set, we were able to see what time it is, and we're like, B, if we lose the set, we're not making our flights, you know that. And B's like, don't think about that right now. Like, let's just win in the second set. I'm like, yeah, let's win in the second. But I'm just saying, like, we might need to push our flights a little bit back. And then we ended up losing the second set. So
We
yeah,
were 5-4 down, right? In the second set,
I
4-3,
think,
then 4-4,
yeah.
5-4 down, and then yeah, we lost that second set, and we're like, all right, ref, we need to go to the bathroom to change our flights.
So maybe that wasn't as professional as it should have been, but we didn't know we're gonna play that long. Like nobody knew it's gonna be that long, so we were cutting it very close with our flights.
Yeah, we had our flights at 3 p.m., right?
Yeah,
Or 2:45 p.m. So
and initially we
it
thought
was
we
like
were gonna play at
12:30.
9 for some reason. So yeah, we thought 9 to 12. All right, we're fine, and we were not fine. So we had to change our flight, and then
That
and
was a little, yeah, it was,
battle,
yeah.
like it was a mental and physical battle, like in the beginning, and then around 4 3, I think. I mean, I had a bad game with some faults, and it somehow got away, and it was ended up being 6 3. So, but it was very physical match, very exhausting and mental, and yeah, it was a really tough match. But I think we can learn a lot from it. So I'm glad we did have a match like we did this early in the season, let's say, so we can definitely draw some good things and bad things out of it and only learn from it. So we're
Exactly.
grateful for that experience.
What would you say is maybe one key takeaway from this experience? You guys have obviously been very close with these teams. You guys have beaten, top teams as well. Um, like Eric said, you guys are young, so it's new, so you guys are kind of the unknown, but you're also have that benefit of being able to play against these established teams. And so what would you say is one of these key takeaways, yeah, for lack of a better term, that you guys can take from these experiences and these matches and help you build confidence for, nationals, that you guys can end up on the other side of the coin?
I think in the critical moments, like when the score is tight, or even when we are up, set and up in the second set, or tight moments where those games are important, just stay solid and maybe risk some more shots that I don't know, just adjust the strategy depending how the score is, not just keep playing and not really find something to adjust and change what is happening. Like stop, take a moment to stop and talk to each other, maybe adjust, have a plan for the next few games, and in those critical moments, as I said, just stay more solid and have a plan and adjust. We had a plan before playing the finals, and we kept on doing the plan until the end. So maybe throughout the match, we need to in the changeover, talk and be like, all right, we are following the plan and it was working, but now maybe it's not working anymore. We do need to change something and see what we can do to find a solution and win these games that are important, right? Find a way to win those important games, not just keep on doing the same and keep on losing those games.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think now, good thing we can watch the live stream, even though it was hard to watch it. uh, like watching it, it's really helpful because then you can see what you were doing in those moments because it's impossible to remember the whole match. I can't remember half of it. So like B said, like in certain moments, we need to understand the importance of the certain results and games. And it almost seemed like we went on too quickly instead of like getting together, making a really concrete plan for the next few points, the way we want to execute them, and then seeing if that's something that works or not. And I feel like that was the key difference in what they were doing versus what we were doing. and you could tell how when they were losing, they kept changing the strategy, kept changing it until they found the right one in terms of how they're winning those games. And I think we still have so much room to improve when we're both at the net. There was a couple of points when, we get confused or we lose the net because we don't know who's taking it. So, which is, I think, a good thing to know, that there's so much room to improve there, that once we kind of get that right the way we should, that's going to give us another kind of, strength
Edge.
to our game. So things like that, it's really was a really few key points and key games that we could have slowed down, make a better strategy, and change it. Risk. I know it sounds funny, like risking in this game, but when we get too passive, it's when we don't play as well. So for us, we need to trust our shots. We need to trust, our hands, and rely on that a little bit more than we do, because we know we have them, and on every day we have them. So I feel like we need to learn how to rely on that a little bit more in those crucial moments.
Yeah.
No, that's great, you guys. And because I think this is now, maybe, is it the third time that you've played them, or second time that you've
Second
played
time.
Macy?
Second time. The
And you
first
beat
time we
them in
played them in
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah. So the good is that, you have, because that match was live stream as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you have footage of when you've beaten them, and then footage of when you lost them. And, I think you guys are making a ton of sense in the fact that you're gaining these experiences playing these top teams. You're starting to understand really how they are as a team, but also how they can maybe deviate from their strategy, and maybe what they do different from time. So I think even though you guys lost in the finals and you're probably bummed out, I think it was a great result, and yeah, definitely a ton to learn from. Yeah, and I was taught this as well when you play on the live stream. A little cheat code is you can always go back to, if you really want to learn about how you're winning or losing, you can rewind back to game points that you won or lost, and you can just do a chart. Like, a good example was, say, charity semis, I missed like 5 forehand drives on game points. It's like, all right, dumbass, I probably shouldn't have driven that ball on that big of a point. So I don't know. I think, Tay, you bring a good point of just being on the live stream and being able to watch back, and then be just how they were altering their strategies, and what you can be on the lookout for. But huge shout out to Macy and Lynn on a job well done, a
Yes,
great turn. I
good
mean,
job.
it's always big time to win a Grand Prix and bring home that check. But guys, on the men's side, we had some great matches. First of all, it was great to see Johan and Steven back on the court. I mean, they're our living legends. So anytime they're out there, it's fun to watch. Going into the finals, because Jose and Guillermo took them down in the semis, and they're going up against McNerney Morgan. Obviously, you two were a little busy and weren't watching. Nobu, you're probably like me and flipping back and forth between courts. But dude,
Yeah, we
the
need
roller
to
coaster?
we need to put that out on the air, by the way. Just I need YouTube. I need to make it a little easier on YouTube to be able to, like, how like on the TV controller there's like the back where you can like flip between the two channels you were watching. We need
Yeah.
that kind of feature right here so that we can just like flip around a little more conveniently.
I had the big screen and then on my phone for both
Oh,
matches
there you
going
go.
on.
Smart man.
But dude,
Yeah, that was a good final. They won the first set 6-0, right?
Yeah.
Said me.
Yeah. So they won it 6-0. I think Guillermo had his flight to catch, so he was playing lights out. But yeah, I mean, Adam and Graham, they just regrouped. They got together. But no, but what were your thoughts on that final?
I think just like with being, is it T or T?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
There you go. All right. Oh my goodness. yours is the last name that I was messing up, and Eric had to correct me a couple of times.
Mine?
Paige is
Page.
Paige, right?
Sounds
Paige.
like page, but it's like page. Yeah.
Okay. All
Page.
right. I'm gonna do my best. And I was joking with Eric because I'm like, I'm the guy that had the weird name and nobody could pronounce my name, and now here I am screwing this up. Like Jesus. Um, no, but what Bay and Theo were saying, I think that like fully applied in that Morgan McNerney final where Jose and Guillermo were just like rolling. McNerney and Morgan were making like some uncharacteristic errors, I thought. Um, and if I remember correctly, the conditions were a little slick, right? The court was still a little bit wet, so I think that was making probably playing defense a little tougher. But um, kind of to their earlier point, I just felt like McNerney and Morgan just kind of hung in there. They made the set close. You know, I don't know what Jose and Guillermo were thinking, but it is one of those things where it's natural to I'm not going to put words or thoughts into their minds, but if I was in that situation, you win the first set 6-0 and you're like looking at the clock like, "Dang, man, I'm cruising through this." You're feeling good. You're probably trying some stuff out that you wouldn't normally try. Your focus slips a little bit, but then next thing you know, you're in a dogfight and anything can happen. And I just think when you win a set that easily or that comfortably, it's like what I was gonna say to Bea and Teo is like I think it's awesome that they're going through these like grinds of matches and you win some, you lose some, but you're like fucking battle ready for nationals, right? So it's like you're not that's not foreign to you. And I think not that Jose and Guillermo are not battle tested because they absolutely are. But I do think a 6-0 set does sometimes lend itself to let your mind slip and then that small shift in mindset and attitude can make it difficult to kind of regroup because then all of a sudden it's a little panicky, I feel like. And look, I thought Jose and Guillermo played solid paddle. But I was very impressed with how Morgan and McNerney were able to almost forget about the set and decide to, hey, let's keep this next set close and take our chance when we get our opportunity to take it. And they did.
Yeah, I think when you see a score like that, it is such a teachable moment, especially to club players. Like prior when I was working in the rackets industry and just watching some of our league players play and they lose a set 6-0 and they're woe is me, I suck tonight, what's going on, and before you know it, they lose the second set 6-1 or 6-0. That's like, hey, what's done is done. The set's over. Let's try and regroup. Maybe we change our strategy a little bit. And case in point, they win the next two sets 6-3, 6-3. So it's just it's great to see that, any other racket sport or with racket sport, sorry, there's no clock out there. You're always can make a comeback. And just the fact that they dug in there, they grinded, they're just such a tough out as well. They can be able to get a million balls back. And I think it just shows that there's so many different ways you can win in this game, both on the men's and the ladies side. And just because you maybe lose a set 6-0 doesn't mean you're out of it. So two similar finals, both on the men's and ladies side, but two totally different score lines. So, but shout out to Graham and Adam. A great tournament. It looks like other than that, they had a 3-set match earlier in the tournament against Murphy and Schneider, but they had a great win over Drew and Tomas in the semis. And hey, another team on the men's side that everyone's got to be on the lookout for. But guys, hey, we wanted to talk a little bit about the guys in Detroit, but we're here for the newly formed the hot sensations out there, B and T. So guys, what you spoke a little bit about your coming out party on how you got into paddle and how this form partnership came about, but bring it back a little bit. How'd you get to the US? Let's hear the lowdown on you guys.
So I can start again. So as you guys know, I'm originally from Spain. I was born in Barcelona, but I grew up in Murcia. It's a city in the southeastern of the Mediterranean Ocean in Spain, so pretty nice. The weather is so nice here. Right now I'm at my parents' house. And yeah, I started playing tennis when I was 3. I competed in the junior circuits, like in Europe and around the world, basically traveling, ITFs, etc., like playing a lot of tournaments. And then when I was 16, I actually got injured. I had a wrist injury, so I was out for like a year. So until I was 17. So around that age, I was just considering like, going pro or seeing different scenarios of what to do at that age. And then, yeah, I was with my family in Spain and they really pushed me to go to the States. And yeah, I moved when I was 18 years old to Columbus State University. I got a scholarship there. And I graduated from business management and marketing. I also did my MBA. As I mentioned before, I started in the rackets industry in that COVID summer that I couldn't fly back home to Spain, so I had to stay in the country. And a friend of mine told me that the Essex Fells was open and looking for a female pro only for the summer time. So I spent that summer there. I really liked it. I enjoyed. I went back to school to finish my undergrad, and then I kept doing like 2 or 3 more summers until 2022. Then when I graduated from my master's, I decided I would never expect that I was gonna end up in the rackets industry. I thought I was gonna do something else. I think like a lot of us think the same. At least I don't know from my friends and the experience, like the people, they always tell me, yeah, I would never expect being here in the rackets industry. I thought I was gonna do something else, and I thought I was gonna do something else, but I just ended up in the rackets industry for now. And yeah, and then I moved to New Jersey full time in 2022 that summer, and I started working at Orange Lawn in the fall in October, I believe. I started teaching paddle, so I started playing a bit, not much, and I started competing in 2023, that January, I think. I played some tournaments, my first tournaments with a very good friend of mine, Anya Bukian, and Vera Besonova. So that winter was my first one competing and getting to know the sport. We actually did pretty well. My first nationals, we lost in the third set against Morgan Sikora. So that was a
Nice.
good tournament for me as my first nationals. And then last year I took it a bit more seriously. I partnered up with Liz Cruz, a
living
legend.
legend.
Yeah. Shout out to Liz Cruz. She's amazing and she taught me a lot. She was kind of my mentor and taught me a lot of good things. And she's kind of never give up mentality. So that's what I loved about her. And we enjoyed a lot our time together on the court, on and off the court. She's so much fun. And we had a good season. We were top 6 last year. And then, yeah, in the summer, I met Thea. And that's how our story started, playing the summer league in New York, as I said before. So that's kind of my story. I got into the US and paddle.
Hey,
Love
no,
it.
she's leaving something out. She's a national champion
Oh, yeah.
as
Oh, I
well.
forgot about that.
The only one
Oh,
here that has one. So, that was pretty awesome
the
seeing
mixed
you
the
and
mixed doubles one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that
Yeah,
was a
how could you
fun one.
forget
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah, I forgot. I played with Liz and then I played with Alvia, mixed nationals. It was a very good tournament, super fun. We actually had a tough draw. We had in uh round of 16, I'm not sure. Morgan.
That's
That's a tough
brutal.
team. Morgan. I think we won on 2 sets, but a tough match. Then we have in semifinals, Sven and Lynn won in the third set, and in the finals,
And they were
we
defending champs, weren't they? Didn't they win it the
yeah.
year before?
I think
Yeah,
they won the year before, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in the finals, we played against Flora and Martin.
That's
Third set.
that's awesome. Hey, Nobu, you
Very
keep on
fun.
growing out your hair. Maybe me and you can play.
Just tell me how long and I'll sign up, man. They got some cute red spandex like leggings at Lululemon right now. I could wear that.
Say, how about you? How'd you get into this?
Into the rackets industry? Was that the
Yeah,
question?
well, that and just how'd you get to the US?
How did I get to US? Well, I mean, similar story. I started playing tennis when I was 7. A few months later, I already took it seriously, started playing tournaments, was competing all my life, was playing for Croatia under every age, traveled Tennis Europe, ITFs, all of that. And then when I was about 16, 17, you were thinking, are you going to turn pro or what are you going to do? And that's when I kind of said that I would rather want to go to college, and that's the path I took. I got recruited by a couple of schools. I committed to Ole Miss, which was the best decision. I absolutely loved it. It was the best time ever. My coaches were amazing. My teammates were amazing. Oxford, Mississippi was also amazing. And so, anyways, I started the school there. After my junior year, I decided to, usually I would go back for the summer, play some tournaments, play some league, then come back. But then after my junior year, I found a job in New York in one club in Rye. So I did, like, I was a summer pro there. And then the summer after, I also came back and I did the same thing. But then when I graduated, I kind of had desire to play professionally. So that was kind of shocking to my parents. They thought finally they got rid of me and my tennis. And then I decided to move back home and start my career. So that's what I did. But a couple months, I played a few tournaments. I got some WTA points, but a few months later, COVID hit. So it was very uncertain of what's going to happen. And I was very in between, didn't know if I want to keep waiting, play tennis, or go back to work. As you all know, tennis is extremely expensive. So it was really just, it was a hard situation to be in and to not know what's going to be. So I decided to go back to work, and I went back to US. I moved to Long Island, in I was at the Southern Whole Country Club with Chris Post, and that was absolutely great. I loved it. I was their head pro, and my husband now, my boyfriend then, he came with me, and we did it together. And then 2 years later, I decided to move to Nevada to do my master's in finance. So we were kind of back and forth between New York and Reno. And then I graduated in last December, got married, and moved here to Stamford, Connecticut. And that's when I took a position at Stamford Yacht Club as a head pro there. And there you go. And slowly started playing paddle, played summer league with B, and here we are right now, a year later, basically.
Sick.
Love
Fun
it.
story.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's all over the map.
All over the map. I was all over the map. Next place to go, I think it's Ohio, and then I've been in all parts.
Hey, you guys are more than welcome to come to Midwesterns. It's right around the corner. We're happy to have you guys.
We'll probably
Um,
do it, right, Taya? We might do it.
Tournament? Yes, we should do it.
yeah. Well, hey, speaking of tournaments, right, or we had right before, I wanted to talk about Baltimore because that was you guys' first tournament, right?
Yeah.
Second.
A second,
Second?
yeah.
Okay. So you guys had a great summer together. Hey, we're doing this thing. We're going to be partners. So you go into Baltimore, and I think you stunned the paddle world by beating Lynn and Macy, how, I guess, from the start of the season to now, how have you guys seen your improvement and just, how's this team come together? Like, what have you guys been liking so far as you've been gelling?
Think it's the whole experience, like traveling together, especially for Baltimore. We drove together the day before. It was a fun day. I think we had some practice in New Jersey before, since she lives in Connecticut, so she drove to New Jersey. We had some practice there the day before. Then we drove together to Baltimore, and we had dinner in a random sushi place. I remember that.
Nobody was there but us.
Somebody was there. Was a little, yeah, weird, but it was fun.
Where'd you guys go? You remember?
No, I cannot remember the name, but I remember they were almost shocked to see us. So I don't think they're kidding.
Nobody was there. Nobody was in the restaurant. Only us on a Friday night.
Hey, private restaurant. They
Yeah.
close it up for you guys.
So yeah, that was a very fun tournament. And yeah, I mean, the whole experience was super fun. Like driving together, as I said, practicing together the day before, going into the first rounds. Actually, we didn't have a first round. I think our opponents
They
withdrew, right?
retired on the spot, yeah, or something, yeah.
And it was our
They're
first.
scared. They were like,
They're scared.
we can't go up against these guys.
We had our first victory against the top team. We played first Lauren and Carrie, Delmonico, Lauren, Gaby, and Carrie. So we knew that that was also going to be a tough one, and we had to be focused and see what was going to happen. And we were able to win, but that was still a good win. Probably our first win over a top team, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, the
gave us some
defending
confidence.
national champions. Yeah, I consider that a top team.
And yeah, that gave us some confidence to go to Lena Macy for the next one,
Yeah,
right?
that match was interesting because I thought we played well, we played discipline. I guess they just didn't know also what to expect because they haven't really seen us play together or anything. So we were almost, I mean, not cruising, but the score seemed we were up 6-1, 4-1, and then things got a little complicated, which we kind of expected. Even after 6-1, we were telling ourselves, listen, this is nothing. Like you only got not even half of the job done. We keep going, we keep playing, we stick to our game. And yeah, we were able to again stick with it and came up with a win. So yeah, it was 7-5, I think, the second set. We were glad we were able to close that out. So and not to go into the third set of that one. And
Yeah,
then
they probably they didn't play probably their best at the beginning. Like I don't know if they practiced before. That was the first tournament back of the season, so they started a bit slow, and that gave us some confidence to win the first set that easy, 6-1. And then the second set they started playing better, and I think that was, yeah, they came back, but we were able to close it out, so that was good.
Yeah,
And then, yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, and then we played the finals against Flor and Anna, right?
yeah, I think we ran out of juice on that one. We were tired a little bit, legs were tired, everything was tired, and yeah, but I think it was still a good match. It was a good fight, and again, we learned from that tournament. We only got better, I think. We kept practicing, we kept playing other tournaments, and then that was it.
Yeah, because then, I mean, I'm kind of going through the results, and other than Chicago, you guys made it to the semis or finals. Well, you won Long Island. I was able to watch you guys play a little bit on the live stream of that. You guys had a crazy final in the Westchester Classic against Floriana 7-6. But no, I mean, I gotta really give it to you guys just how much Nobu and I, we were able to watch you play a little bit in Baltimore, and then just watching you on the live stream now, it's crazy. You guys are literally getting better every single tournament. So it's fun to watch. I guess my question for you guys is, what are you starting to see kind of really improve that quickly about your game? Is it, Taya, I think for you, it's maybe like you're starting to screen drive more. Both of you guys, maybe it's a little bit more defense. If you could fast forward to that first tournament to now, what do you guys think you've really improved on as a team?
Yeah, I think exactly like you said, like some of the shots, I just didn't have time to even test them out. Like I just didn't in the beginning, I've never drove off the screen. So it's like I didn't even know if I'm gonna have that or not. And I remember saying, all right, let me see, maybe I can work on this. And then I realized, all right, I can have this. All right, so I can hit it. And that's kind of how I myself discovered some of the shots that I can have. And I feel like we still have room to improve. Like still feel like we have some shots that we just didn't even test them out to see if that's something we could potentially have or that's something we cannot have. And I think our shots got better. We don't miss a lot, I would say. Decision making got better to know when to hit, when to push, when to do certain things like that. And I think now, especially on the baseline, I feel like we worked a lot playing on the baseline. For me, because my screens, that was something that I needed to improve because I would get caught in the screens just because I haven't really, seen them enough. And I feel like we need to now start working maybe at the net game a little bit more and see what we can strategize there and what we can, develop at the net. But I would say if from the start to an end, it would definitely for me be screens and what I can do of the screens, kind of with comfort that I can get them back, and also some decision making and knowing, like kind of working with each other. I already know when she does something, I do something, and we kind of are better as a team in doing that.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, I think personally was a bit more on the baseline. I used to play with Lee, so I was playing on the outside, and with Tay, I play on the deuce. Since I really liked playing on the deuce in the mix, that's why we kind of like decided over the summer, let's try this way, and I think that's how we are the best at probably, because we create offense from both sides, and there are not that many safe spots with my forehand, maybe backhand, and her forehand, backhand of the screen. So, yeah, maybe create for me was more like at the beginning, I didn't really know how to create that much offense from the deuce. Now I'm starting to develop that and creating more offense from that side, and knowing that you can also be more creative from that side allows me to be a bit more aggressive. So she can set me up or I can set her up, and we help each other. But I think, yeah, on the court, our chemistry is, I would say, the key of to our success, right? I think we trust each other a lot, and we communicate very well. Yeah, which makes a huge difference when we play. And that's what we also have been improving a lot since the beginning, right? Like we now trust each other. We no filter. We tell each other what we think, and we're straight to each other and tell each other, hey, this, and this, and whatever it takes to. We are a team, so we always say, if I lose, if I miss, we both lose. So we we have to stay strong and be a team. And
So
yeah,
you
I'm
said
glad I found
something.
someone. Go ahead, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Finish up.
No, I'm glad.
I'll actually remember my question.
Yeah, be
Go
careful.
ahead
He
so you don't
forgot
forget.
last time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I was gonna say that it can be tough to find someone you feel comfortable with enough to say exactly what's on your mind. So I'm
Yep.
glad I think we found each other, and that's very important, right? To feel that chemistry on the court. Like sometimes maybe two very good players play with each other and they're amazing individually, but maybe they don't have that chemistry and they're not as good as in
Yeah.
theory they should, because they are both individually good players. So I think there's a huge thing as a team for us.
Um, dang, I forgot what I was gonna say. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
I'm joking. No, actually, so you said something interesting that I have observed and started to feel is a little bit more of the trend now. Um, but historically in the past, and whenever you talk to club players, I feel like a lot of club players are always dying to play the ad side because that automatically means like you're the guy. And
Yeah.
sure, right? It's like ad player is like the stud, and then this thing next to me over here on the do side is just kind of here for the ride. Um, but I've always made the argument that like, look, both sides are super important. You need to be good on both sides to be a good player. Doesn't matter. But something that like I said, I've noticed, and something that I want to ask you without you giving away too many of your secrets, although I would appreciate a little lesson myself here. But I've noticed that a lot of these good teams now have ultra like fantastic do side guys and girls. And a lot of these big teams are not maybe successful because of it, but they are successful in part because there is an offensive weapon on the deuce side. When historically in the past that wasn't the case. You had to have like a lefty to have offense on the deuce side, but now you got guys and girls hitting backhands, hitting good backhands, hitting good forehands. Um, so on that note, my question to you would be, what is something that you would feel comfortable sharing for players, whether it's tour players who are playing on the deuce side or club players who are, playing on the deuce side and feeling like, oh, this is just the roll side. What is something you have done that has allowed you to, like you said, be more creative on the deuce side and be able to create offense on the deuce side when historically that is not an area that was necessarily seen as offensive.
I think, well, obviously, if you can try to hit good lobs, that will help, and set up yourself to be a bit more aggressive, even if the opportunity is not there. Just at least give a look and be a threat to your opponent that you are present. Sometimes when I see club players playing on the do side, they think they just need to be there and like lob, and their partners will be more aggressive. But I think actually the deuce player can do that as well. It's not because you're playing on the deuce side, you just need to lob all day long. You need to set up yourself. And that doesn't mean you're going to be driving all the time, but you are going to set up that opportunity. When it comes, you're going to go for it instead of just being on your home base. Just lobbing and lobbing, you need to move around, you need to lob, and depending where you lob, you position yourself in one way to another to look for it and be a threat to your opponent. And even if you don't go for it, but they see you and you're present, right? So that would be my advice for players that play on the do side, and just be a threat even if the opportunity is not there, because not every time you're gonna hit a lob, they're gonna give you the right shot for you to drive. That's never gonna happen. It's not when you want, it's basically when it's there. So just keep looking for it and set up yourself and move your feet. Probably.
I love it.
That's what I try to do sometimes, and it helps. Trying to don't get too passive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Eric and I were talking about this, we've talked about this multiple times, but it's finding that like where personally for me, it's funny because players who I lived in DC for a while, then I came up to Baltimore. Now I'm going back to DC. But before I left, I was just like your average 2015 PTI guy. And I had a rocket forehand. I mean, I felt like I could maybe hit a forehand like Eric. But then I started playing, up here. I started getting better. I started playing these tour events. And, we talked about who's the first person that taught you to play like paddle for real. And for me, it was Tomas last year in Baltimore. Honestly, that was my first experience of like playing legitimate paddle. And I feel like I've gotten stuck in that opposite way where it's like, okay, now I'm just like trying to play defensive and finding that middle ground where like Mark was talking about it last week and you guys have touched on it again, which is, you know, being able to still take the risk when the opportunity presents itself and just accepting the fact that like, hey, we're gonna make some, we're gonna miss some. Like Eric said in one of his matches, I think he said charities. It's like if you missed 6 forehands, but you had the opportunity to take them, well, whatever. Your forehand didn't work that day, but they weren't bad misses, right? And I think that's where um, ourselves and for club players to understand better is like paddle is not just lobs, right? You have that old school contingent of people who are like, oh, these tennis guys, they just drive the ball all the time. That's not paddle. It's like, no, it's paddle. If it's winning, it's winning, right? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Um, um, but I feel like for players like us who do have that ability to do that, it's finding that balance of, what's our time to do things, and it's committing to those opportunities.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think you just always have to stay true to your style, right? Whether you drive more, whether you lob more, you have to say it's pretty difficult in this game to try and do something that you're not that you cannot be. But with that being said, if your strategy, say your drive is off or you're playing too passive, you need to get away from that strategy. And you do have to. I feel like if you want to be successful in this game, is you have to get out of your comfort zone and start doing what's necessary to win.
Yeah.
I think we had a match at Nationals. Tomas and I were playing Johan and Steven, and I was playing my game style, and that just fed into Johan and Steven. And I looked at Tomas and I said, I'm going to lob every single ball. And it was so foreign to me, but we won the second set because we were just lobbing it. So it's just, I think, just looking at it from, from completely picture, you have to stay true to who you are. But hey, if it ain't working, you got to find a way to make adjustments and change the tide. But so guys, so fast forward to now, we have the second half of the season coming up. We got the big ones, Boston, Short Hills. Obviously, that all leads to nationals. What are you guys looking forward to moving forward in this second half? Whether it be a certain tournament or you guys have your ranking up now, so hopefully that means you don't have as bad of a draws that you guys had in the first half of the season. But what are you guys excited about this second half of the season?
Yeah, no, we are excited about exactly climbing our rankings so we can maybe have easier, not easier, but like a little bit easier draws going forward. So we don't need to face first or second seed like as early as quarters or even earlier than that. And yeah, we're just excited. I think the first half of the season, we're a little bit nervous. We didn't know what to expect. Now we kind of played everybody. We've seen everybody so far, whoever played. So I don't think we're as nervous anymore, like going on the paddle court, but I'm sure like some different things will be happening. But yeah, we're just excited to elevate our game, to add some shots, to try some different strategies, and to travel for some fun tournaments. I played actually Short Hills last year. I mean this year, but earlier with another partner, and I remember that being a super fun tournament. It was great, a lot of people, a lot of clubs. So I'm really excited about that one and about Boston as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm looking ahead I'm especially excited about the Shore Hills Invitational. it's such a prestigious tournament. And since it's in New Jersey, it feels like playing at home. A lot of club members can come watch, and it's a very fun tournament. So I'm really looking forward to competing there and give it all in that one, in and the other ones. But that's a good one, and the party after is fun.
Probably the best. I don't know if Chicago Charity, we should take a poll. Chicago Charities or Short Hills after party. See which one gets the fans vote.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't lead to the same outcome as Ravens versus Steelers after party, then it should be okay.
No, but you were with us, right? At Short Hills last year?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Until they lost our rental car keys. That was
That was
as
less fun.
That but we shut that place down. I don't know how Bear and Chris Humphreys do it because their members are they're fun. They're animals.
Yeah. Party animals.
Well, guys, we're getting ready to the end. Christmas is in 3 days. So I wanted to get a little festive tonight. What I've done is I've identified 8 men's teams and 4 women's teams that we're going to say that they're on the APTA Tour's nice list this season. So what I got here, it's every team in my hat. No, but we'll start with you because you're to the right of my picture. I'm going to pull a team name. You have to give a reason why they're on the nice list, or give them something for Christmas, or you can pass to someone else and have them give an answer.
Okay, so let me get this right. I gotta either A, say why they're on the nice list.
Yep.
B, if I can't come up with anything nice to say about them, then I owe them a Christmas gift.
Yep.
Or C, Bea is gonna get what I don't want.
If that's who you want to pick, you might want and see who I pull out of the hat. Though.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Well, Bea is right next to you on my screen, so
okay, we're passing.
All right, so let's see what we got.
All right, we got. Oh, this is easy. Burrish and Elliott.
Oh, I mean, just class acts.
Well, I guess give a reason why this season they're on the nice list.
Well, I would say that both Macy and Lynn, with me in particular, have been a super helpful tool in trying to grow and promote paddle like within my own Baltimore community. Lynn came down twice. Macy has came down with Lynn before Baltimore. And I mean, both of them have expressed on multiple occasions saying, hey, if there's ever anything that like I needed, and whether it was bringing them over for an exhibition or running a camp or something, I just feel like they've been going out of their way to extend themselves to help promote and grow the game of paddle here in Baltimore. And then now with this new job in DC that I got, like hopefully they'll be able to come down and help out, and hopefully I can get Bea and Ted down and help me maybe put a camp together down there. But I would say that's why, to me, they're on the nice list. I think they're great ambassadors for the game, and they do a lot for the pros and for the community.
There we go. All right, B, this one's for you. Remember, you can either say why they're on the nice list, give them a present, or you can pass. This is a fun one. We got Drew Broderick and Tomas Christian.
Oh, okay. So I have to say why they're in a nice list, or I can pass.
Or you can give them a present. It's got to be like a pal present.
Paddle present.
Looks like she's going to TJ Maxx later.
giving some matching pink pants.
Yeah.
I'll give them a present.
Okay, what are you
Ooh.
giving them?
I'll give them a matching shoes. I
Matching
really
There you go.
liked I really liked Tomas shoes in the last couple tournaments, the bright yellow Nike shoes he was wearing. So I would like
He
to
wanted
give
us to get them as well.
yeah.
You
We're like,
know,
oh, those are nice shoes.
on the
Very
fashion side, he does
distracting.
bring it. He does
He
bring
does.
it.
What's his
He does.
size? Tomasito. We call him Tomasito.
Good question. I can't remember.
So we'll give them a pink shoes
Ooh, okay.
for the
I like
Nice.
next
that.
tourney. Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
You gotta tell me his size.
I'm sure we can get that. All right, Taya, your
Let's
turn.
see who I get.
Wow, I feel so honored. Fraser West.
Well, it's a tough answer
Uh-oh,
because I
she's
mean I
she's
just
turning
met you, I
red. She
feel
doesn't
like.
know what to say about you, Eric.
Hey,
And I'm not sure I know
pass it
your
to
partner. I'm not sure I know him, even though I remember seeing you guys in Baltimore playing on that first court. And I kept asking which one is Fraser, which one is West, because I didn't know. But what I can say, let me see. Well, this podcast is really nice, so thank you for inviting me to do this. So I would say that's why you're on a nice list because you seem like a nice guy.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I'm the mean one. Tyler's the nice one.
Oh, you are the mean one?
Yeah. We got on the
He
nice
is
list
very
by
nice,
default.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Nobu, back to you.
Back to me.
Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sakura.
Hmm.
Why they're on the nice list? A present or pass?
Well, it's kind of silly, but you gave me two people who tend to do a lot of these camps. So I feel like I can't recycle the same thing that I just said. Um, yeah, I would say, again, I do have to recycle a little bit and just say Charlotte does do a lot for the game. She travels all around to promote her camps and promote paddle to anyone who's willing to listen and buy in. So, um, I would say that's why, in my opinion, she would be on the nice list. And Allison, I've only gotten to talk to her a couple of times, maybe. I don't know her very well, but just watching her on the court and just in my limited interactions with her, um she just always seems like super composed and level headed. And even when she's on the court, it can be super intense, and she always just seems really cool, calm, and collected, right? Even though you don't get to this level without being super intense. Um, but yeah, I've always been impressed with how she's composed herself on the court, and I enjoyed talking to her when she played in Baltimore. So
No, they're two of the best people out there. I mean, win
yeah,
or lose, they always have a smile on their face. They're always cracking jokes. Yeah, and talk about growing the game. I mean, what Charlotte does, traveling around camps, it's impressive. It's big
yeah,
time.
yeah.
All right, B.
Yep.
We're pulling out of Santa's
I'm ready.
bag. You might pass on this one. Don't know how much you know about them, but we'll give it a shot. Stephen Mitchell and Johan Durant.
Um, I know a little bit about them. Actually, I'll put them in a nice list because
Ooh,
my
Yeah,
my
actually,
first
I could have gave the option, put them on the naughty list.
That'll be fun.
I think yeah, I spoke to Mitch over email like my first paddle season because he invited me to do their paddle camp. I think it was their paddle camp and it was right after my first season, my first winter season. So I thought that was nice of him that I didn't really know what I was doing, and he still invited me to help with their camp. So yeah, I would say they're nice, and yeah, I guess we'll put them in the nice list.
We'll
At
hey,
least him.
we're
I don't know
yeah.
about Johan.
I have a
Johan's
funny,
forehand is not on the
It's
nice
not
It's
list.
not
nice.
nice.
not on the nice list.
Yeah.
I have
It's
one
nice to look out from
funny
outside the
story.
cage. It's probably not nice to be on the receiving end of that for him.
They just opened a pickleball place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3,
Nice.
I believe, in Boston. Yeah.
Congratulations to them on
Sorry,
that
Tad, I didn't mean to
new
cut you off.
project.
Oh no, you're good. No, I said I have a funny story. I remember a couple years ago when I was not playing paddle, but I was watching Antonio, my husband, play paddle. First round, they drew, I guess, him and Johan, and they lost like 6-0, 6-1, and they come off the court, and I was watching the whole match, and I was like they're not that good. Like, how could you
Yeah.
6-0, 6-1? Like, there's nothing special. And they're just looking at me, all right, just don't even start talking. Because I haven't really seen much of a paddle, and it just seems so simple that I was like not impressed. And then now that I know,
You hear that,
very,
Johan?
very
Taya's
much
coming for
impressed.
you. Not impressed. I don't care how many nationals you've won. Not impressed. All right, Taya, you get Team Regalazzar.
Oh.
How was that? Jose and Albie.
I don't know about that. Can you say it again?
Team Regalazza. Regalazzar.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
you guys
You
got to remember,
pass.
I'm Canadian. There's not a lot of Spanish being spoke up there.
That was good. That was good. You pass.
yeah, they are nice. They are nice because I mean, well, they're always nice and friendly, very intense on the court. I feel like we can all learn a lot from them. And I would say they give me and a B some good advices, even though we sometimes don't listen to them. But they try really to be helpful. And uh, so yeah, so I would say they are really nice.
There we go. All right, guys, let's do 3 more.
Teamwork.
Nobu,
Yo.
you get who we have on the pod right now, B. Lopez and Taya Page.
Oh man, putting me on the spot with 2 people I just met. And I have to be looking at them on the screen while I say this. What do you guys want for Christmas?
They got
No,
that
matching outfit. Why they should be on the nice list. Yeah, I would say it's really cool to have like this young squad come up through the ranks and challenge these teams, these established teams. I think that's great for the game. I think the women's side will start to grow more as teams like Bea and Tea come through. And I think they're kind of setting the tone for these other teams, these younger teams, to start coming up through the ranks. And they always look like they're having a good time on the court. They're always super positive with each other. And, I know Bea said they're pretty honest with each other, but at least that honesty isn't cutting too deep through the skin, so they can still manage to give each other hugs and laugh and smile.
Sometimes.
And I think it's fun. I think it's super cool to see 2, young women coming up in the game with such a good attitude. I think it's going to be great for the game, and there'll be another wave of trendsetters for the APTA. So I think they deserve to be on the nice list for all those reasons.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All righty. B, you get Guillermo Nunez and Mark Powers.
Ooh, okay. Uh, so they get to be on the nice list because
Guillermo's at home being like, crap, she knows all my secrets. This is bad.
no, they're nice people. I mean, I don't know much about Mark. I know Guille. I actually met him one summer that Alvi and I played a tennis tournament mixed, and we played against him and another girl. I think that was his, I don't know, someone. And and yeah, I met him in that tournament, Battle of the Pros, it was called. I think they're still doing it in the summers. And that was
That
fun,
was
and I
fun.
thought he was a nice guy. We played them in the finals. And yeah, since then I always thought he was a nice guy. We have some friends in common. We always talk about the master paddles and like um which paddle is the best, whatever. Like we have a joke going on about that, and he's super nice, nice guy. And Mark, I don't know much about him. I just went out with him and his wife once with more people, and that was a lot of fun in New York. I think for Macy's birthday, that was so much fun. So yeah, I think they both are super fun and nice people. I really think so.
There we go. All right, last
I think they
one.
know who I'm getting.
Yeah, actually, I'm rigging this real quick. Tommy G and
I'm
so,
Jin.
Tin and Tommy. You gotta be careful. It's your boss.
I gotta be careful, but Tommy and Tin, I actually know them from forever ago. We all went to the same high school, so we
Oh,
go
wow.
Wow.
way before this. So I would not put them on the. No, I'm just kidding. No, they're really nice and friendly. I mean, I've known them my whole life, and we also worked together in a Apoamis Country Club 5, 6 years ago. So again, I feel like I really, really know them, and even though they're a little crazy on the paddle court, I think they're great competitors and great athletes and great paddle players. Tin and I mean, he would push me on the court when it was July, like 100 degrees outside. He wanted to go drill with me, which I thought it was really cool that he, wanted to play so much with me. And I think he really helped me to just get better because him and I would just keep hitting paddle balls. So yeah, great people on and off the court, just fun. Whoever gets to know them really actually appreciates them. So yeah, very, very nice people.
No, they're great dudes. They've been a fun addition on the
Yes,
tour, that's for sure.
definitely.
Well, guys, hey, I think that's about it. Let's wrap this up. But B, Taya, I really appreciate you guys coming on. It's been fun getting to know you. Really looking forward to the second half of the season. Nobu, appreciate you, brother. It's
I appreciate you. And thank you,
want to
Ben Thea, for coming on and joining
Thank
us
you
Thank you
guys for
today.
guys for
having me.
having us. This was
yeah,
so much fun, and we really appreciate you guys invited us to this. So thank you.
Of course.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hey, want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and yeah, we'll see you
Merry
guys in the
Christmas.
courts in
Well,
the new year.
yes, we'll see you
Happy
all.
holidays.
Happy holidays to everyone.
It's late here, 12:30 a.m.
Wow. All right, we'll let you go.
Nice.
Ready to go to the nightclub. No,
Oh,
I'm
oh yeah,
kidding.
that's right. You guys don't start until super late. It's like early for you
Yeah.
still.
This is
It
about it.
closes it closes at 7 a.m., so I have time.
Yeah, you got to catch your flight for Ibiza now. Well,
All right,
thanks,
everyone.
guys. That was fun.
Thank you guys.